Sean Manaea. Maybe you have a better. I butcher names all the time, but the
Me too.
point is, he is now he was a college guy. He's moved incredibly fast now through two systems. He came over to Oakland by way of Kansas City in the Ben Zobrist trade, and he is a legit number two, perfect for that number two slot in the A's rotation. He's literally one of the reasons why the A's were in play for Encarnacion as a free agent. And
Mm.
the reason I say that is because they're not household names yet, but the A's have a plethora of quality pitching. They are deep with young pitchers. Uh, Maybe their roles are still going to be defined as far as starters, long relievers, middle relievers, but they have quality arms, and that goes back to the old A's of recent years that had success. That was their MO: build youth with the strong pitching, and then fill in the gaps in other places. And I think that's what Billy Beane kind of played his hand by showing how much confidence he
Absolutely.
has in his pitching staff by making that move. So what else can you add about Manaea that I haven't
Yeah,
touched
so
on?
Manaea is another one of these guys that was actually acquired by Billy Beane via trade over the last couple of trade deadlines. Obviously, they had a big one this year where they moved Rich Hill and Josh Reddick and ended up getting Grant Holmes and Jarrell Cotton back in return. Well, they did the same thing with Manaea in the Ben Zobrist trade with Kansas City as they were obviously loading up for their World Series run back in 2015. But the thing that I really like about Manaea is he's somebody that sort of had to work at every level to get where he was, even though he won an Indiana state championship. So he is a big Samoan straight out of Indiana, which I find kind of hilarious. I love the backstories in these guys. It's a big part of what I do as a prospect writer. But he was Indiana State Sycamore, which obviously is the alma mater of the one. He's a Boston fan, Larry Legend, Larry Bird. So he's the second most important Sycamore in history. But I think the thing that you take from is he wasn't even recruited or drafted out of high school. He was even though he won a state championship and dominated in high school, he was a walk-on at Indiana State. Pitched his way in. Sophomore year had a big year, big Cape Cod League. Going into his senior year, he was considered, some serious 1-1 buzz for that draft. He had a hip injury, ended up dropping into the supplemental round for the Royals. The Royals ended up, he got surgery. They were cautious with him. And he sort of, they brought him along like they've had with a lot of these pitching prospects that they dealt out at the deadline last year. And the thing that I love is as soon as he went to Oakland, he really broke out in the minors. They brought him up this year. I think some folks thought it was a little bit early. He had a very rough first half. But if you look at the second half numbers, so in the first half, he threw 66 innings, 5.24 ERA. In 77 second half innings, his ERA was 2.67. He was really controlling his fastball. He's got a great slurvy slider that has drawn Randy Johnson comps, since he was in college. And just overall, he's a guy with nasty stuff. I think you could see an uptick in K per nine this season, while he's still going to maintain weak contact rates and that really low ERA. So I think you saw a big jump in the second half. He got adjusted in the first half to throwing to major league batters and then really took off in the second half. This is a guy that could be maybe the breakout arm of 2017.
Yeah, I want to add to that, but first I got to get the Freddie Prinze Jr. image out of my head. You have me thinking
Cape
of
Cod League.
Summer Catch now.
I've never seen that movie. I've never seen that movie.
I find it very hard to believe with all the things you love about New England. But yeah, you mentioned the K numbers. He was always above, K per nine. Strikeout per inning in his career, or at least through the minor leagues. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't horrible. It was at 7.7 in his rookie year. But again, this was his rookie year. He was, as you said, kind of fast forwarded to the bigs. So I fully expect that number to dramatically increase and get back to, that near 9 number he's been at to this point in his life. So